sorry, one sec. I just, Guy helped me to redo my sound settings, and I forgot how to use voice meter. There we go. Took me a second. Excuse me. Voice is a little sore today, but that's alright. It's not even that sore, it's just I think I got something stuck in my throat. Oh gosh, let me say thank you real quick. Gemma Ward, thank you for the gifted sub. Thank you. I hope you can hear me okay. Mic is a little hot. Uh-oh, okay, one sec. Okay, I think that's a bit better. Excuse me. Jasper Dawn, welcome back. Thanks for the resub. Grunt, hey, thank you for the resub. Good evening, Miss Honey. Just the thing I needed after a long day of work. Oh, I'm glad we could just chill and take it easy on Monday. Mondays are rough sometimes. The weekend's over, gotta go back to work. Kemmerworth, thank you again for another gifted sub. Jasper, Fergal, oh my gosh, Fergal, thank you. Tudrick and Smurf Jr. Thank you so much for the shinies. The Draugr, thank you for the gifted sub. Konamix, hey, welcome. Welcome to the tavern. I hope you're doing well. Jasper, thank you again for the bits. I'm so sorry I missed your messages. I was getting everything set up for the lesson. Death, thank you for the gifted sub. Excuse me. Smurf Jr., thank you. And Zimpact, thank you. Or Impact with Z's and X's around them. Thank you. Onyx. Thank you. You didn't have to, Onyx. John Lane, welcome back. Thank you for the resub. And Sinister Ocelot, welcome back. Thank you. Jasper and John Lane, thank you so much. Ethos, you won't be able to stay long? Oh, you're gonna get training bathing dogs. That's exciting. All right, take it easy. Yeah, make sure you get lots of sleep for that. Animals can be very tiring to work with. Fergal, can't tell you how much I appreciate this stream today. I failed out of the Art Institute a couple years back, and it was really disheartening and put me off doing art for a while. Aw, that sucks. But I always was fond of the anatomy drawing classes that I took there. It was one thing I was making real progress at. Thanks again for doing this. Of course. I'm really glad I could do this. This is actually really good for me too, because I need to work on doing more anatomy stuff. I've lost a little bit of my my anatomy knowledge, so this is a good refresher. I'm just catching up with chat one sec. Jasper, additional celebratory gobbleties. Oh, thank you. Because I should be getting a new job soon that pays well, so soon I can send all the contacts. Jasper's, and save your money until you know for sure you got that job. Thank you. I appreciate it. But please make sure to take care of yourself first. Gecko, Jasper, thank you again. Mr. Van du Nord. Van du Nord? Son of the North Wind? Thank you for the resub. Hey, my weekend was really good. It was very busy. I watched Godzilla vs. King Kong, and let me tell you, that movie is so much fun. It's wild and wacky and so crazy. I highly recommend it. It's a good time. It's just a kaiju flick. Dad, thank you so much. Gosh, so sorry about the throat. I woke up and I guess my throat wasn't ready to talk today. Let's make sure I've got everything all ready. I took a little longer to start the stream because I realized I needed more reference. Also just wanted to make sure that I didn't forget that Twitch doesn't allow nudity, so I had to grab some non-nude models. Can't be getting banned off Twitch for trying to teach you something. Alright, let's see. Oh, come on, window. Open up. Yes. There we go. There we go. Took it a sec. Smiling Time, thank you for the hydrate. Excuse me. Oh gosh. Lily, thanks for the ear wiggles. Alright. And see Gunram, thanks for the head pats. Oh, those are gonna be nice. Nothing better to end your day with art than with art and head pats. My brain doesn't want to think right now. It just wants to chill and not think at all. Xanga, thanks for the posture check. Let's hope my neck doesn't crack this time. I really hope it doesn't. Oh, okay, good. We're good. Sometimes it hurts. Death Honey, were you looking at naughty models? No. No naughty models. I got some very tasteful and appropriate models for tonight. There aren't that many. It's just to give y'all an idea of how I usually start doing posing and how I practice life drawing. Gratarob. Great Rad Rob. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that. Casually watching a peaceful goblin while playing a war game. Nice. Nice. Sometimes it's fun to do that. Just have something really calm in the background while playing a violent video game. Keeps you chill. Can't my word. Honestly, I like Godzilla King of the Monsters more so much that I got the book of it, which adds a few things here and there. Oh, I didn't actually know there were books about it. I probably should have expected that. It is a pretty well-known series. Angelson and Sleepy Raccoon, thank you for those redeems. All right, let's take care of those right away. Okay. Ara ara. Hey, sugar. I'm gonna hide. Thanks for that. Okay. I gotta stop being embarrassed. I gotta stop being embarrassed by those. Otherwise, I'll never get past this. But thank you all both. Okay. Anonymous friend, thank you so much for the bit. Thank you. That's really kind of you. All right, let's get going on some art. You know, get right to it. Art. Yes. Oh, I finally set it so that my screen starts out as gray. It's so much easier on the eyes. Oh, you know what I realized? I am missing one thing. Existing. Slushy. Yeah. Whoops. I call this a slushy BG. I love it. Alright, here we go. So, just gonna do a little overview of what we're gonna go over tonight. Dalian, thank you so much. How spicy of models do you go for your life drawing, honey? Not too spicy. It's they're usually like wearing leotards when you look for online models. Otherwise, you just get like the same sexy poses over and over again sometimes. So, if you look at models who are wearing leotards and doing dances, that's pretty good. So we're just gonna go over. So that's too thin of a pen. So the first thing usually you start with is, well, first thing you should probably do is a warm-up. So if you haven't warmed up, just practice drawing some circles and lines, just until you feel like your arm's nice and loose. That way you can get some very nice line art in there. Gary! Hey Gary, how's it going? Gecko, no, don't stop, embarrassed. Fun to no, I get way too embarrassed way too easily about everything. It's not fair. Alright, so the first thing you work on when you're doing life drawing poses, or just general poses, is gesture. And the second thing you're going to add is anatomy. And then the third thing is usually shading. So usually when you do life drawing like this, you're using Conte, which is compressed charcoal. Very easy to draw with them. Oh gosh, Fiendish Name, thank you for the sub. Welcome. Hope you're having a good evening. And Large Mountain, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much. I just gotta make sure I can see everything. There we go. Okay, had to move my monitor a little bit. So those are the 3 things we're gonna be working on today. Just gesture, anatomy, and shading. Just very basic stuff. There are many different ways you can do it. Mine is not the only one, but it's a good place to start if you don't know what you're doing. Sorry, thank you for the gifted sub. Detective Moon, Honey just casually scrolling through naughty art. Oh yeah, there's some good ones. Not gonna lie, after doing life drawing classes, a lot of the times when you see a nude figure model, it's not like it's not sexualized or anything. It's just like, oh, okay. That's just a pose. You just get used to it after a while. But yeah, I got some good reference. Let's start with this one. Whoops. So, very basic. Got some nice line of actions here. Let me just stretch my wrist real quick. Need to do a little more warm-up. Death, look everyone, it's the Gobbo of eternal happiness. Thanks. You don't need to throw anything at me. I'm not a leprechaun. Sharpen Matter, good night to you again. If I want to start doing art, should I start with a drawing tablet or a sketch pad and pencils and such? I would say if you're not sure, start with a sketch pad. There's something nice about drawing very physically, like on a piece of paper. You can kind of grasp things a little easier too, because with the tablet, sometimes the undo button is not your friend. If you keep erasing your lines, you're not quite going to learn as much. So it's good to have lines and sketches that don't look quite right so you can see what to do next time. Oh gosh. Drago, thank you for the 7 gifted subs. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Starscape. I too like to keep my references under my bed. These are not. No. Anyways. Shoot, the Hateful Dead. Thank you so much for the resub. How the time flies by. Oh gosh, it flies by incredibly fast. But yeah, in terms of starting with paper versus tablet stuff, I would recommend starting with paper, just because you can kind of feel it a bit more. I don't know if that makes sense, but you can kind of feel the lines when you make them, and you can get a sense of the gesture a bit better. Maybe that's just me though. I didn't actually start doing digital drawing until 4 years ago. It was mostly paper for me. I completely forgot to tweet about this stream. One moment. There we go. All right. Whew. Napalm, I'm really feeling it. All right. So what we're gonna start off with is gesture. So when you look at a pose, usually the way I start with it is breaking it down into basic pieces. So I'll start with the head, the shoulders, the hips, and the chest, and then the legs. That's kind of all you need for a gesture. Methaphytitus, thank you so much for the resub. And Cam, thank you for the hydrate. Oh, please don't fall over. Excuse me. Honey, your hair grew quickly there. Yeah. I have to fix my hotkeys a little bit. But yeah, so usually when you're starting off with a drawing, you start with kind of this. It'll look like almost like a stick figure. So with this pose, for example, I'm going to trace. Normally you wouldn't trace, but just so I can give you a visual of what it looks like to break it down. There's her head. I'd usually do a line for which way her eyes are looking. And then draw the spine. Rib cage and the shoulders. Looks like a pretty neutral pose. And then the hips. Now her hips look like they're tilted a little bit. Usually if you want to do a pelvis real easy, just draw like a bean. And then the hip bones come out here. And there you go. That's a pretty basic gesture right there. Cam, did you get the opportunity to watch Arcane? Not yet. I've been doing a lot of art. I have one more big commission before I can start doing a lot of other small illustrations. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Nipsar, thank you so much for the shinies. What if Honey's ears are props and her actual ears are underneath? You might discover my secret. My ears aren't actually this big. They're hiding a smaller set of ears. But yeah, so that's generally how I'd start. So let's do it for this pose, but this time I am not going to trace over. I'm just going to draw it next to it. Because normally when you're looking at a figure, you can't really draw on the model. That's not a thing that's allowed. So you just have to draw it on your paper. All right, so it looks like head is tilting down. There are the ears. So I usually draw the ears and where the eyes are going. So that way I can tell where the head is tilting. And then we've got line of action. Looks like her shoulders are tilted a bit. And then same thing here. Yeah. Straight arm down. More weight is here. I have to move it over because I drew it too low on the page. There we go. Detective Moon, are they actually suggesting that you have ear plants? Ear implants? They can suggest it all they like. Sorry, I can't think while I'm drawing this. I'm trying to focus on teaching a lesson. But yeah, so that's pretty much a general gesture. Draw the feet as well. I'm actually not great at drawing feet. That's something I actually really need to work on. But yeah, does that kind of make sense? Just drawing a gesture like that. Cobra, Honey walking up to the poor guy who is only getting paid 20 bucks for standing still for 3 hours. I'm gonna draw your basic skeleton. But yeah, so but yeah, that is pretty much how I draw gestures. That's how I get a pose down pretty quickly. Now, the next part after gestures, oops, missed a toe, is adding muscle. So let's pull up the muscle chart here. Could probably get rid of this one. Marie Lowell, thank you for the posture check. Oh, my neck. Every time. Top left looks like a JoJo pose. Yeah. A lot of models end up looking like JoJo poses, especially if you push them. For those of you who don't know what pushing poses is, I can show you in a moment. Can you do one singular pog, please? Not at the moment. Sorry. I don't want to lose too much focus because I have a bad habit of losing focus pretty quickly. But yeah, so if you look at these, lasso selection, I gotta get rid of those pants. There we go. So you can see how the muscles are split up. If you want to cut them down into their basic pieces, usually you can cut them into, here's the pectoral muscles. It's like kind of like a book. These these are just the cheats I use. They're not applicable to all anatomy. These are just the fast and hard ones. But yeah, and then you have the obliques. This is where the rib cage would be. Pelvis, which is just a beam. Legs going into the sockets. And that's pretty much it for the basic breakdown of adding anatomy. So basically just cut everything into as many shapes as possible. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. Yeah. Cobra, never thought about actually getting myself a basic reference of all of the muscles. I've been using my memory all this time. Feels so dumb. No, that's totally fair. I didn't use a reference like this until actually quite recently. Reference is really good. It helps you to understand why something looks good and how to make something look more realistic. So don't ever feel bad for grabbing, like, especially like anatomy charts. It really, really helps to break things down. But yeah, so now you can kind of see how I break down muscles. So let's create another layer. That is the wrong one to make transparent. There we go. And let's make that nice light color. So looking at this pose here and the pose above it. All right. I think I'll start off with the shoulders. Death. I miss drawing. Arthritis clubbed my hands. Can't draw anymore, which is kind of sad. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That really sucks. I really hope you can go to like a doctor or a physiotherapist to get that checked out and helped. Large mountain. I don't do art, but this is still really cool to watch. Oh, I'm glad. If you ever decide to pick up a pencil, like, just go for it. Just start drawing. Have some fun with it. Sharpen matter. Please take care of yourselves first. Make sure to sustain yourselves. You really don't have to. Me smiling, no, I'm about to go crazy with my debit card bits. No! Sharpen matter, no. Don't do that. Please make sure you have enough money for yourself. But yeah, okay, let's start with the anatomy breakdown. The first thing I'll usually start with is the upper body. So, oh, the Hateful Dead, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you. Oh man, that's so nice of you. But yeah, so look at the neck muscles down here. So usually, if you're going for hyper realistic, the neck is usually, it's almost the same width as the head. Now, typically, I make the necks of more feminine characters a little thinner, because typically with cis women, the neck is a little bit thinner. The limbs are a little bit thinner as well, just because of bone structure. Bodies come from all shapes of sizes, but we're just going on the basics here. So once you learn anatomy, you can add variation and make different body types, like thicker characters, or even tall and skinnier characters. But yeah, we'll just go with this for now. Gary, do not perceive me. Good luck with that, Gary. I see all. But yeah, so let's do the neck and the shoulders and the jugular, I think it's called, like this little V neck. Cluster Doug, this is very helpful for storyboarding. Thank you very much. Oh, of course, storyboarding is really fun. It's also good to learn gestures for storyboarding because you draw things fast and just get actions down. But yeah, so then let's draw the rib cage. Yeah, that's pretty good. So stylistically speaking, I usually draw rib cages a little rounder. That's just because that's kind of my style. I've drawn them so long like this, and I'm used to it. Spine would be here. Let's do the bean hips. So remember, we add anatomy after we do the gesture. The gesture is very important because it gets all the action down and the general shape of the pose. Viney Horgra, or Hrothgar. Jeez, it took me so long to read that. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Hrothgar. But yes, let's see. So we got the ribs, the bean for hips. We've got the hip bones, which connects to the knees. And then down to the ankle bones and the feet. I typically, I have a bad habit of neglecting the feet in my art, just because I haven't spent a long time drawing them, because the anatomy is really weird and hard to nail down. So for now, let's just focus on the upper body and the gesture. But yeah, And then we can do the shoulders. So shoulders. Yeah, because her body is tilting a little bit. So when you're doing this, the best thing to do is to reference the pose and the anatomy. So that way you can get an idea of like, okay, this is what it looks shape-wise when you look at this. When you see the muscle underneath, you get to break it down in your brain and apply it to this pose. So now the elbows, fun trick, elbows are usually right pretty close in line to where the bottom of the rib cage is. So fun anatomy trick. Also, another weird fun anatomy trick, put your foot to your forearm. It is the same length. My anatomy teacher taught me that and it blew my mind. Carrie, just make noodly wavy arms. I've done that before. It's a really fun style. You get to play with poses really fast and loose when you do noodle arms. Yogfrogoth. Yogfrog God, thank you for the prime. Thank you so much. Chosen Undead, what's your best piece of advice to do facial expressions, like happy, angry, or determined? Oh, why don't I cover that after this pose? Just want to get this going, sorry. But yeah. Nemo puts foot to forearm, witchcraft. Yeah, it's weird, right? Your foot is the same length as your forearm. But yeah, okay, gotta focus. So another trick is that when you look at your arm, normally, there are some exceptions, of course, because some people have real long arms. Your hand will not go further than halfway down your thigh. Her arm, if it was down here, her hand would only go down to her mid-thigh. Bodies are fun that way. There are some very fun ways to gauge whether something is in proportion. The fake say, good night, honey, one more thing, happy birthday. It's an unbirthday still. Thank you, though. Ayatollah, I think you mean shin and forearm. Oh, yes. Thigh and forearm. Yeah. I know bones and body parts, I swear. But yeah, so we're gonna draw her biceps. And then her arm goes back up here. And their hand is here. Okay. I'll draw that next because I just want to get these down. So when I break down forearm shapes, I typically do it by making them pointy, like diamond shaped like this. Just because your arm is thicker up here and then it gets thinner as it gets down to your wrist. And then she's got a casual hand pose here. Jasper, thank you so much. One less gobble tax for Bisco. Thank you so much. Gary, pointy forearms. Listen, I love pointy designs. They're so good. Their peak design right there is just pointy people. All right, now for the thighs. Yeah, so for the thighs, what you're gonna do is, see, this is where the spine comes in handy. So we drew the spine. That is about where your tailbone would end. So it's different for everyone because some people have like thigh gaps, and some people have very like cool thunder thighs that can lift cars. But usually they start close to where the crotch is. And with the outside thighs, they would start where the hip bone and the leg would connect here because there's, love handles. You got love handles here. There we go. You can kind of like play around with this because there's different types of muscle. A lot of it depends on the model you're referencing to. I grabbed a fairly average body type from what I've seen, at least for models. Gecko to use fleet to study bones. It's really funny that I actually had an OC back in high school that was just a character who was just a skeleton. I just put a cape on him, and it was really fun to draw. And it actually really taught me a lot about anatomy because I would reference looking at skeletons. good. It's good. It's good for learning. Smurf, I heard tax. No, you're good. Fuzzy Gamer, thank you so much for the Prime. Welcome. Fiendish Name, thank you so much for the shinies. Alright, so for the head, the gesture kind of broke it down already. But if you look up here, she's looking a little bit down. And we have her head going like this. So your ears and your eyes are almost always going to be in line, or at least along this line, depending on how your head is moving. Or tilted, like up or down. So her head was tilted down, so I'm just gonna draw her eyes real quick. So when you're doing life drawing or gesture drawing, it's not really necessary to add like very distinct features, especially if you're just practicing for posing. But it is a good idea to always draw the ears and the eyes. That way you can get a sense of, okay, this person was looking up or down, because that affects the spine and the pose itself. Mothman, bring back Cape Skeleton OC. Maybe one day. I have a lot of OCs that I haven't drawn in a long time because they were like high school OCs. All right, and her arm. It's hidden by the pose, but it goes like this. Okay, I'm gonna make another layer so that I can add extra anatomy, because that's kind of the bare bones of anatomy. But the torso is a little bit trickier. That guy, may I please be excused for D&D? Yes, of course. Have fun at D&D, that guy. Thank you so much for helping me with the sound setup. But yeah, so for the torso, it's a little bit trickier. Torsos are weird. Like, it takes a long time of practicing drawing them to get them. But for her, I'm just going to really quickly get rid of these so that I can show on her. So for the torso, there's the front. Hectic. The bare bones of anatomy? You don't say. So then we got the that was good. The rib cage here, clavicle, so which is the collarbones, and then the shoulders. Now we have the bean, the big old bean. And for the torso, usually how it works, this is not always the case. It always depends on the body type. Usually I cheat it by finding where the rib cage ends and then just drawing like this. So it's just like a pear. Or a Dorito, depending on what kind of character you want to draw. So let's add that to here. I'm gonna push it a little bit. Make it a little more JoJo. All right. Now, let's make it darker so that we can see the next layer. Gary Honey cheats her art. Oh, Gary. Art is all about cheating in the right ways. But yeah, so that's generally the pose. Now, this is different for depending on if your character has titties or not. But if your character has breasts, it takes a lot of practice to get used to drawing them. Typically, breasts are just... So if you look at... light pen. So if the rib cage is like this, and her body is tilted back, so she's leaning back, you can just create lines so that you can see which way the body is tilting. Usually separating it into thirds is pretty good. There's different ways of doing it for everyone because there's different ways that breasts can sit on the chest. You would typically just draw some ovals, and if we remember correctly, it's an open book, remember? So, open book. Oh, it tilts up because of the clavicle. The open book connects to the shoulder muscle. And that is usually how I draw breasts. I will draw another layer so that it's more visible. But if I were to clean this up, it would probably look a little bit like this. Yeah, a little like that. Not perfect, but it's good for a gesture. Stars God. Meanwhile, if you can draw a refrigerator box, you're about 50% of the way to a male form. Well, for typically cis male characters, you can do triangles, sticks, and rectangles are pretty standard. But for cis women, usually it's circles. It's a lot of circles and hearts. That's the shape language I was taught when I was in school, but like since then it's a little bit outdated, especially with like non-binary characters. So learn from it, but know that there are no hard and fast rules. Circle, hearts, and beans. Yeah, there's a lot of beans in everyone. But yeah, that's pretty much how I do gestures. And then after this, it's typically just a matter of adding features and like hair or an outfit. I'll break down another one, but I think I'm blanking on the name, unfortunately. But someone asked me to break down expressions, so let's do that. Expressions anatomy. Hot dog artist, stick to the perfect male form. Yeah, the ideal male form. So for expressions, typically what you want to start with is so that was gestures, very general gestures. I'll go over it again later, but for now let's do expressions. Expressions are very fun. I love doing them. A lot of good expressions can be found in like Disney expression sheets. You can learn a lot from them if you look at them. Like just copying them, you can learn a lot. Lily, there's a lot of beans in everyone. It's accursed. But the shape language is true. But all right, let's expressions. Excuse my poor handwriting. So for expressions, there are kind of 3 things you want to keep in mind. Oh gosh, let me take care of those redeems before I start the lecture. All right, let's see. Let's get those head pats on. Yes, yes. All right. Thanks, Hillport. That one comic guy, thanks for the posture check. Oh, okay. And thank you for the hydrate. I'm actually very thirsty. Excuse me. Maybe that's why my voice is feeling out of it, is because I'm dehydrated. Alrighty. Huge Not Gaming. What's the music in the background? It's Easy Lemon by Kevin MacLeod. It's a royalty-free song. But yeah, so for expressions, generally there's 3 things you want to keep in mind. One is the eyes are always the focus. The eyes are key, because a lot of emotion and expression mainly comes from the eyes. If you want to know if your expression is strong or not, just cover the mouth and nose and look at the eyes and see if you can tell what emotion they're feeling. 2 is reference. Look at pictures of people expressing different emotions. You can learn a lot by looking at real people's faces. It's a little hard to learn how to grab the emotion they're feeling and put it on paper, but it's good practice, and if you need it, it's good to see how the face contorts. 6 to Watt, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome. But yeah, and the third one is a lesson that actually I learned from Glenn Keane. He worked as a Disney animator, and currently I think his most recent work was Over the Moon, which is a Netflix film. It's a beautiful film. I love it. The characters' emotions are real good. But the most useful piece of advice I ever got from one of his lectures was draw what a character, whoops, is thinking, not what, I feel like a teacher writing on a chalkboard. They're doing. So if you want to make sure your emotions and expressions are reading, you have to draw what your character is thinking about, not necessarily what they're doing. So for those of you who don't understand what that means, that's fair. It is kind of hard to understand. But what it means is, if I'm going to draw a character who is lifting a bag of flour, if I'm going to draw a character lifting a bag of flour, I'm not going to just draw him bending down and picking it up. I'm going to be drawing his face thinking about it. Meaning that Gary, motive instead of action, exactly. So while he's lifting it, is he struggling? Is he focused? Is he tired? Is he thinking, oh, this bag is so heavy? Or is he going like, oh yeah, I can totally lift this? Kind of start thinking about what a character's thought process is and what they want to do, not just the action they're taking. So let's put that into practice. So now I'm a little bit of a hypocrite when it comes to this. Sometimes I will say, oh, I'm going to draw a character cooking a meal, and then halfway through it'll turn into a character burning their tongue. Like while I draw, sometimes things shift and change, and that's not bad. Sometimes that's actually good because it lets your brain kind of relax. But if you're going for a specific thing, then like write it down. That way you don't forget. Lucian, can this VOD never go away? I feel like I'm going to be coming back to it a lot. Yeah, I put my VODs on my YouTube channel, so there's a link in my about section if you ever miss it. But I will probably create a new series called like art lessons so that it doesn't get lost. But yeah, so let's do a practice. First things first with expressions is getting head angles right. I will be doing head shots, not full body shots, because a lot of expression can also be in the body. But for now, we're gonna focus on the face. There's a bit of lag in my pen. Maybe add a bit more stabilization. Yeah, one stabilization. Largeman, honey, do what I say, not what I do. I do my best to lead by example instead of just telling people what to do. But sometimes I mess up, and that's okay. All right, there we go. So let's do a quick expression. Someone give me an emotion. Onyx, I'm gonna stop trying to follow along with this since I can feel my brain getting hotter behind my eyes. Drink some water, Onyx, don't sweat. Let's do, okay, anger. That's the first one that came up. Empty, oh, that's dark. But let's do anger. There's a lot of ways to express anger. There can be like outbursts, like seething anger, tired anger, frustration. Anger is a pretty general emotion. But let's do 3 angry expressions. Gonna do, actually let's just do 2 with different head tilts. One will be going down, one will be going up. I typically draw in 3/4 just because I find that easier. Because you can do a lot more with that, just in my opinion. You know those artists who only draw in 3/4 view? Yeah, that's me. Gary disgusted. Gary, that's a great emote, honestly. I love it so much. But yeah, so for anger, when you want to draw something angry or intimidating, generally you want to stick with more pointy shapes. So like squares, triangles. You don't typically want to stick with rounder shapes. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So for anger, we're going to draw the eyes. They're going to be very sharp. The nose is not as big of a deal, but the mouth can also be very sharp. Brows are going to be closer to the eyes, pushing everything down. So this is a bit of a squashing. The expression is going in on itself. It's a squash expression. Oh gosh, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can explain stretch and squash expressions. Maybe another day. But yeah, typically, if you want something to look scarier, usually having big round eyes is not as frightening or angry looking. However, it can still be very intimidating with the right amount of pushing of an expression. For now, I'm just going for extremes. So smaller eyes. Like furrowing the brows, little disgust in the nose. Basically, everything is pointing inward towards the face, so you focus on the eyes. Maybe like... I love drawing expressions. But yeah, so you see what I mean? A lot of the shape language is very triangular. There's triangles here. Everything is pointing towards the face. So everything is pointier. Gosh, yeah, it's hard to explain. Thallium, just a little smoosh in the face. Yeah, just a little bit of a, put it between one of those giant hydraulic presses, just squish. Speaking of, I should take off this headband. There we go. Corn dog, congrats, you're out of the hospital. Get some rest. But yeah, so that is a that's a pretty standard one. Let's do an upward angle, so more of a stretch, angry face. Lemonfish, thank you so much for the resub. Welcome, welcome. Or welcome back, I should say. All right, let's see. So more of a stretched anger. So for this, I'll probably use more square shapes. Teeth probably, teeth probably go like this. Still very triangular shape or square shape. Probably nose. Face is a little bit harder to get. Upward angles are always tricky. Don't ever feel bad for struggling with upward angles. They're rough. There we go. So kind of similar shape language. There's the triangle. Oh, that was the wrong color I selected. But there's the triangles. The eyes are still kind of a triangular shape. I could push it and make it more angry looking. And then a bit more harsh lines for squares. Actually, yeah, let's real quickly push this even further. Yeah, that's a pretty angry looking face. Two different versions of anger. Detective Moo, what about big round eyes with pinpoint pupils that never change, then pair with an unwavering W mouth? Wait, you mean like a cat face? Like a smug cat face? Alright. Thallium, behold, two faces that Honey will adopt when the last muffin she was looking for is taken by the person right in front of her. They're still cleaning up the blood and teeth. But actually, Dr. Thallium, that's actually a really good way of doing it. Imagining a scenario where these people would be angry. Like, this person could be angry that someone else stole something from them. This person could be yelling at their sibling for stealing something. You can kind of put an emotion behind it, but if you put their thought behind it, then you can know which direction to push the pose. Like, because if this person is tired, you know, you can add extra bags, make them extra tired. Yeah, you can just add something more to it. Cobra, can you draw the disappointed anger expression? You know, the one my parents had when I told them about my life choices. Your life choices are your own. No, I'm not gonna draw your parents disappointed in you. Okay, let's try another emotion. Let's see. Ah, yes, murder is the solution once again. Now. We're not going to murder. Let's see. Disappointment. Let's try something not too close to anger, because let's try a little bit more of a positive emotion. Or holding back tears. That's not a bad one. That's tricky. Let's see. Flirty, Silver Nightwing. Ooh, flirty is really fun. Okay, let's try a flirty one. I'm just having fun with expressions now. I hope this is actually helping y'all to kind of understand. And I'm not just drawing and rambling. Let's see. So, fun thing about flirty poses is when people are being flirty, you can usually like tilt their heads a bit more. So you can add a little bit like extra sass to it. Thallium, isn't most art classes just drawing and rambling? Yeah, but you usually pay for them and they're professional. This is I don't know how professional this is. But yeah, let's do flirty. Alright, so yeah, let's do that. So I'm just doing 2 head angles so that I can show variety. You can try a whole bunch of different ones. There are many combinations you can do. I'm just doing the basic up and down 3/4. Valium, congrats, I just paid for this. You're a professional. Thank you. I really hope y'all are enjoying this. It's really fun. Death, I wish I could stay longer, but I have to go to bed and work tomorrow. I'll need to watch the rest of this later, even though I can't draw. Your art streams make me happy. Oh, thank you. Good night, and I guess don't steal the last muffin from Honey. Oh, get some rest, Death. I'll see you later. Have fun at work tomorrow. Be safe. But yeah, let's do flirty. Now, the fun thing about flirty, have any of y'all heard of the DreamWorks face? So flirty is basically just the DreamWorks face. So the actually I gotta do the, let's do up here. Yeah, let's do that in up angle. So it's not always this, but this is how I usually draw flirty faces. It's just the tilted eyebrows. Vapor, and thank you so much. Thank you for the shinies. The eyebrow lifting, yeah, exactly. You like jazz? Yeah, flirty is a bit more of like for when I usually draw flirty faces, angry is like these ones, and then flirty is a bit more like eh. They're a little more smooth, but also with straight edges. That's typically how I do flirty faces. All I can think of is like Lupin the Third. I love this so much. Look at this smug guy. These are all pretty rough, just trying to get the idea across. Matthew Cones, honey, do you ever think about doing cartoons like stuff? Yeah, I thought about it. Like comics? Comics could be really fun. It's a lot of work to make a comic though. I don't know if I have the willpower to do it. Gecko, this smug is strong with this one. Exactly. Yeah, smug is another good example of very close to flirty. It's the confidence. If someone is confident in their ability to socialize and potentially get a date, usually you make them a little bit more loose and fluid looking. Let's see. Then there's like the more cheerful kind of flirty. You ever just look at your own flirting style and go, ah, this explains a lot. I'm horrendously bad at flirting. A lot of it is just like proximity based. So every time I liked someone when I was a kid, I would just try to be like as physically close to them as possible, and then they'd never get the hint. I was a dumb kid. The smolder look, yeah. It's the Flynn Rider smolder. I'm trying to put an expression to this. I probably should have clarified that this is the head tilt. What about the Goblin Gartic phone stream with the others? A Goblin Gartic phone stream? Ooh, that could be really fun. Gartic Phone is a very fun game. It takes a little bit of patience, though. Cat smug face. I don't know if this would be flirting. Nah, this wouldn't be much flirting. I don't really know what this expression is. I'm gonna redo this one. Jasper, I was the same way, honey. I did that proximity thing too because I'm too. It went over very poorly. Oh no, Jasper, I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, it turns out if you like someone, you gotta talk to them. But that's terrifying. But I mean, like, I guess if you really like someone, the best thing you can do is ask them out. And then be ready for a no, just in case. You know? Let's see. All I can think of doing is like the smug face, because smug and flirting are so close to each other emotionally. At least in my brain. Gosh, upper head tilts are so difficult. It's just tired. This is just me trying to make one expression work for hours and hours on end. I relate to this, man. I'm not bored, but this does look like a bored expression. Maybe like put a little hand on there. Anyways, I'm getting a little carried away with this one. Oh, that's my dishwasher. This teeny little hand. Jasper, talk to my crush? I would die of a heart attack before I could even open my mouth. I mean, like, worst case scenario, you could still stay friends. But best case scenario, you could go on a date. That could be pretty cool. But yeah, let's do one more expression. Let's do the sad expression. Because these are kind of on the extremes. So let's do sad. Also, yeah, for shape language for tired and bored, sorry, I forgot to do this one. Normally it's very flat. A lot of horizontal lines. Very straight on. Like, for example, just like the brows are very straight, the eyes are very straight, the mouth also very straight. That's usually pretty good. That's a pretty good shape language to follow for bored or tired. Jasper, rejection too lethal. Gotta move to a different country. Change my identity. Start a new life. It's the only rational conclusion. No. Oh. RNG dies. She knocked the smug look off my face, but luckily I was wearing a second smaller smug look underneath. Clever. Onyx, I tried the talking thing once. It ended in a panic attack and multiple unwarranted apologies. Oh no, Onyx, I'm so sorry. Yeah, don't take that too hard. It's hard to do that. Mouse City, the only flirting I've done has been jokes and bits, so I typically just be as forward as appropriately possible. Yeah, just be honest with someone. Be very upfront, and usually that's the best way to go about it. Some people really like the flirting game, and that's fine. But if you're not sure and you just want to take a leap, be direct. Large mountain. Honey, what's your ideal date? Going for a hike. I like going for walks. I don't get outside of the house enough. I gotta do more exercise, so going out and seeing some grass and trees is really good for me. Maybe get some spaghetti afterwards. I'm pretty simple. Detective mood. What's the one cat girl from Hunter x Hunter? Yeah, the face, the Cheshire cat girl look. Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about, but I can't remember that character. They're the evil one, right? With the bugs. Onyx, Honey Goblin endorses touching grass. I love touching grass. Sometimes I really need to do it, honestly. It's good for me. All right, let's go to sad. So for sad's shape language, again, shape language is just what I use. You can mix and match and test things out and see what works. Look at other art and get expressions and ideas from that too. Don't just get all your art lessons from one source. I'm gonna draw straight on, mix it up. So for sad, everything is usually droopy, like teardrops, sad. So everything is kind of heavier on the bottom and then thinner as you go up. Like that, yeah. Gecko, do you practice your flirting with trees? Now they're too stiff. Angelson, thank you for the gifted sub. And Crusader the Gamer, thank you for the resub. Or Crusader 3-7 Gamer. And Evil Crash, thank you for the gifted sub. Thank you so much. Jasper, listen, you gotta touch grass to factory reset brain sometimes. Yeah, exactly. Like, actually though, sometimes it's really important. Just go outside, touch grass, and be like, oh yeah. Sometimes you don't need to think too much. You can just chill. But let's see, sad. Everything is droopy. So. Sad's a pretty easy one to draw. Everything, shape language wise, goes down. So everything's going down. The mouth at the bottom is lower. The face is actually lower on the head than it normally would be because, you know, they're looking down. They're sad. That's typically how I do sad faces. Pretty simple. If you want, just like add some tears. Emphasize that everything's going down. Yuki Goomba, thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. My name's Honey. I'm just teaching some art tips, some expressions and gesture tips. Yeah, Magab. It's nice to meet you all. But yeah, let's see. Those are kind of basic expressions there. So remember, eyes are the key. So if you cover up, I'm just gonna do an example of this actually. So if you cover up any of these expressions, just for the mouths, you can still kind of tell what sort of emotions they're feeling. The eyes are key, you know? The smolder. I love it. You can see that this guy's bored, and this person is sad. Because, you know, eyes are key. They really are what holds an expression together. Everything else makes it, you can mix it up to make a variety of different emotions, but those are kind of the basic ones. I mean, like, there's happy, but we didn't draw happy. Okay, did you have some reference for crazy face? Reference for crazy face? I don't think I do, no. For reference, I cheated a little bit, because for reference, I have, usually what I do is for expression practice, I will look in a mirror and make the expression that I want to draw, or I will go online and just look up face expressions, or angry face, or sad face, you know. The internet's a great tool for art. You can learn a lot from it. Concucker, hope you're doing alright. I just want to say that you'll hold a special place in my heart for being the first ever streamer I followed on Twitch. Aww, thank you. I hope you're finding a lot of good content creators that you enjoy watching. Twitch is a really neat place. Onyx, big mustache. I could draw a big mustache, but I think we're good. Let me just double check I didn't miss any redeems. Let's see, I think I got all of them. Dark Saucery, or Dark Sauce. I really hope I didn't miss your redeem, but here's some ear wiggles just in case. There we are. Thank you for waiting. And Wolf's Red, thank you for the hydrate. And Cam, thank you for the posture check. Alright. Excuse me. Alright. Onyx, expressing through facial hair can sometimes be difficult as well since you're doing the face and hair physics. Yeah, that is why a lot of the times you have to make sure that the eyes are expressing and not just the mouth. Because yeah, a lot of the population has beards, so even though the mouth and the rest of the face can help, making sure that the eyes are the main thing people focus on is really, really important. Spaghetto Depressi, you're telling me there's reference material on the internet? Yeah, just go. If a lot of the times if you need to reference something, just literally look it up. Like, look at sad man holding cup. You get some real depressed looking people drinking coffee. But yeah, reference, important. After a couple of years of doing a lot of expressions, you can usually like chill a little bit on the reference and start using the catalog of reference you've created in your brain. But even then, no shame, nothing wrong with looking up reference. I highly encourage it. Demon Sealant, thank you for the gifted sub. And Chrysanthemum Fox, thank you so much for the prime. Welcome. But yeah, what was I about to say? Oh, right. And the third thing is, if you're doing expressions, what the famous guy, Glen Keane, Disney animator, said, draw what a character is thinking, not what they're doing. So again, that means think about what a character is thinking about while they are doing an action, not the action themselves. What's their motive? But yeah, that's pretty much it for expressions. Let's go back to anatomy. All right, that was the first pose. It's pretty good. We learned a lot. Let's do this again with another pose. Just to, yeah, a little bit more rotation in these poses. So let's get that going. Make another folder real quick. There we go. All right, let's make this picture bigger so that we can see. There we go. Ignore the creepy looking muscle diagram. It's for us later. Pat on the Move, thank you for the head pat. Fitting name. There we are. And the lesson may continue. Onyx, the trick is to give the mustache mouth physics like a cartoon and make the mustache arch and bend like a smile or frown. Yeah, making the mustache part of a character is very, very good because you can make the mustache expressive. Konamix, drawing is like learning a driving route. Learning a new driving route. Gotta use GPS or maps first. Later you can do it by reflex without thinking. Same with drawing. Exactly. A lot of drawing is muscle memory. The reason I'm used to this is because I've done it so many times that I remember what to look for and it becomes second nature. Yoshi, thank you so much for the hydrate. Oh, I'm so thirsty. Jesper, Ken has sword in hand for this next pose? I don't see why not. I can add one in. But yeah, so we're gonna go through what we did last time, which was... Where are the rules? Right, we're gonna go through gesture, then anatomy, and then shading. So keeping those in mind, we're gonna do gesture first. Let's do this first ballerina pose. Real quick, so the gesture, I'm going to do the head. She is looking down that way. There's the neck and the spine goes down like this. Yeah, spine goes down. We're going to draw the bean because the legs are very important in this pose, so I'm going to start with the legs. And then the shoulders. It's a big tilt here. Up like this. And in like this. And let's do the rib cage. There we go. That's the gesture. Not too difficult, but good place to start. Next up is the anatomy. I'm not doing shading because you can usually get that later. For now, I'm just focusing on the gesture and anatomy because those are a little harder to pick up. Evil. What would Gobble look like with a mustache? Discerning minds need to know. Well, I'm sure I can get that going. Let me just, real quick. Oh. There we go. Let me actually look that up. One sec. Haha. Yes. Okay, okay. Okay, lesson may continue. Let's go. Cobra, can we start sharing our work on Discord as we go along? Professor Honey could even check it out and comment if she's in the mood. Yeah, for sure. If you put it in the artisans table in the Discord, I can take a look at it real quick. Because yeah, anatomy work is really difficult. So definitely, I'll try to help as best as I can. Sunburn, thank you so much for the resub. Welcome back. Wish I could catch more streams. Happy drawing. Yeah, no sweat. You can always watch the VODs. But thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed my streams. Detective Moon, honey, have you ever seen that cursed science diagram where the caption is muscles make the body move, and it's just a skinned person chasing after a terrified person that is only skin on track and field goals? I don't think I've ever seen that, but that sounds hilarious. Jasper, I will retain nothing of the stream for the next 3 years until I randomly recall all of this and bust out around a masterpiece out of nowhere. Sometimes the information just needs time to marinate. Like, if the movie Kiki taught me anything that's very true, is a lot of the times when you're stuck on art, sometimes taking a break and avoiding it for like a week or two really just lets the new information you learned sit and marinate and turn into good art juice after some rest. So don't worry about it. Sometimes it's necessary. Waifu, you look handsome. Why, thank you. Mika Neko, I just really want to DM it to you to ask for help with a hand. I'm way too shy to actually post my art on Discord. Aw, well, I don't think anyone's going to judge you for your art in Discord. It's very good to get used to posting it, as well as getting community feedback. It's very helpful, I found. So long as the community is respectful and gives advice when you ask for it. Unsolicited advice and criticism is not usually helpful, especially if someone just wants to share something cool. All right, now let's add anatomy. Let's see, we have the collarbone, do the neck and shoulder blades. So yeah, the neck, shoulder blades, and then shoulders. If we remember correctly, the pecs are just a book or a bow tie. Depends on how muscly your character is. Usually the more muscly they are, the more like a bow tie their chest is. But yeah. Also, don't forget to look at your reference. Try to get the shape down by looking at this, and then going back and forth. Gecko, hey, honey, got some redeem to clear when you can. Oh, okay. Ah, thank you. Nikki, no, thank you for the posture check. Huh? Oh, okay. Whew, thank you. And Shadow Sparta. Okay, one sec. Let me. Should I keep the mustache on? I like it. Shadow Sparta thinks through the age trigger. Hey, sugar. I love it with the mustache. Sweet mustache action. Alright, gotta continue with the lesson. Oh yeah, anatomy, right. Alright, so we got the hip bones. Yep, we have the spine, the leg connection up here. The hip tilt, I think I need to correct the hip tilt. It's a little more, so if you look, her hips are very straight across, whereas her upper body tilts. So I gotta make sure that mimics that. It adds for a more dynamic pose when they're not both straight. It lets the action flow a little better. Dr. Thallium, thank you so much for the shinies. Are you Honey Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome? Hi, I'm Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. I love that joke so much. But alright, let's add the quadrupeds. The quads, which I think they're called quadriceps, and then the feet. Little toe beans. And then here we go. They connect pretty well to the thigh bone there. Yo, Crash, can we get a howdy partner? Howdy partner. I love a good country accent. Sectum God, a mustache has never looked more attractive than right now. Why, thank you. Alright, so we got the toe pointing like this. Yay. Gonna add a nose for her so that we can tell which way she's looking. I think her head's tilted up a little bit. We got the ear. It's good to add the eye and the ear to gesture poses, so that way you can tell which way they're facing. It's very helpful. Everywhere, thank you for the resub. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, so there's a bit of a perspective thing with this arm. So I'm gonna show you a quick trick for perspective. If it looks flat like this and you're trying to show something coming forward towards the camera, such as this arm here, what you can do is add volume lines. So it's a trick that my teachers taught me while I was doing life drawing, where if you want it to look like it has more volume, you pretend that there are lines drawn along someone's arm, like they're straight lines when they're like this, but when they're pointing towards the camera, they go like this. So it helps to give a little bit of that illusion of perspective. Especially if you're not sure it looks quite right, sometimes it just helps for that. That is also what shading is for sometimes. Markiplier, is that you? I'm sad I didn't watch Unus Annus when it was first coming out. I missed it. Let's give her a mouth real quick. I don't know if I think she's smiling gently. Alright, now we have to make sure that this torso goes properly. And then that's about where her arm is. And then it tilts down a little bit. Okay. Like this. Shoulder muscle. Just remember, reference these. And the shoulder muscle. And then the bicep. Go into the chest. And then the arm. Nice. Miss Pineapple Paula, how do you draw hair? Good question. I can try to cover that today. We'll see if I can get there. Hair is really difficult though. I am actually not great at rendering hair personally. There are a lot of really good tutorials, especially for the type of hairstyle you're going for. Like, if you want a more anime look, then maybe reference a little more highly rendered anime drawings, see how they do it. Or even look at paused anime pictures. That way you can see how it's broken down and how it's simplified for animation. But generally for hair, I'm not particularly good at that. I'm okay at it, but I'm not fast. I'm not a fast renderer. Potato Goddess Jane. Thank you for that redeem. I'm gonna keep the mustache on for now. Ara ara. This mustache brings out my deeper voice. But yeah, let's see. And then we gotta do the... Alright, that is the general gesture. Let's do a little bit more of the anatomy, because I think I have to add more to her chest. Again, if you were drawing characters with breasts, it takes a lot of practice, but looking at reference, like seeing how... I will draw it in a lighter pencil. So seeing how her chest... Her ribs would probably be here. And then if you look at her chest, and remember the bow tie? Oh, the wrong color to do this in. Let's make it a bit lighter. Yeah, that's a good color. So yeah, see, her pectoral muscles would probably be like that. And the breasts would be around there. Onyx, I'm not particularly good at hair. Okay, Little Miss rendered floof. Maybe I'm just not confident in my rendering skills yet. I'll get there. I'll get there in my own time. But yeah, so let's do that. Let's get the bow tie going. This takes a lot of practice too, so don't worry if you get frustrated. Can there be a mustache redeem? 10k to keep it on for the whole stream or something? That's not a bad idea. Dang, you know, there's some good redeem ideas I haven't implemented. I'm planning on doing a couple updates to the redeems this week, as well as doing maybe 1 or 2 more emotes if I have time. I'm working on one really big commission right now, and it's taking up most of my time. It's really fun though. I'm really excited for y'all to see it. It's really epic. Optimistic thing. Mom, I'm just looking at reference images of boobs, I swear. Okay, but like Valorant. I have definitely done that where I had to look up reference for breasts, and I shouldn't feel bad about it, and yet for some reason it feels like I'm doing something wrong, and I don't like that because I'm just studying something for anatomy. So it really helps is if you get a anatomy textbook, because they are actually really good at breaking down shapes. Yeah, breasts take a while too. They're all sorts of different shapes, sizes, and like different forms and different positions. So like, it's hard to say one way is the correct way, but all you can do is your best. Blumentop Vampire, thank you so much for the resub. Welcome back. Theron, I've been trying to learn art basics and I love the goblin aesthetic as a whole. Perfect channel. Thank you. I really hope this is helpful for you. But yeah, so that's the general gesture for that one. Let's quickly do the other one. So one sec. Oh, wrong thing selected. So looking at this isn't too far off. I think I could have pushed her head forward a little bit more. For example, let's do a quick red line. So yeah, I could have pushed her head a little bit more forward along with her neck, and then emphasize the shoulder going higher. And then I probably should have pushed the hip or the waist out a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. Just to strengthen the pose. But aside from that, that looks pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out. Let's remove the mustache. Yeah. There we go. Tamtrail, one of the first commissions I purchased, I was surprised that when the artist told me there was a naked version of the image available if I wanted it. Nowadays, I know that's just part of the whole art process. Yeah, a lot of the times what'll happen is if I get a character to commission, I will usually draw their base proportions as well as anatomy, just so I can get the hang of what the pose would look like, and it would strengthen it and add more muscle or definition depending on if there is more or less. But drawing anatomy, like this kind of anatomy, well, maybe not this detailed, but the basic shapes can really help to strengthen a pose. Even if your character is completely clothed in like a robe, it can really help you. You don't need to draw it that way, but it does strengthen your art a little bit. Valium, honey, I drew this, yay! Honey with mustache. I'm going to redline this and fix it. You're welcome. That is a lot of what art is though. Fun trick is if you're not sure if it needs corrections, just flip it. Sometimes you can see the mistakes. It's a weird brain trick. Your brain gets comfortable looking at things one way, so flipping it makes your brain look at it from a different perspective, and you can see any mistakes you made or anything that looks uneven. Because other people will see it, but because your brain is comfortable with seeing it one way, you won't perceive it until you post it. Large man, I'm gonna dip for a sec. Hope stream is still here, and she doesn't go full advanced and has like 7 characters on screen with a detailed background. Nah, you should be fine. Do you do painting on canvas? No, actually, I found that unfortunately I am not patient enough to do art in any physical mediums aside from sketching. I like to be able to draw things fast and produce them fast because my brain thinks of ideas so quickly that I struggle to be patient when I'm trying to get something out. That is one of the reasons I struggle with backgrounds, is they are very time consuming and I can't draw them quickly. Or I can't render them quickly. Could you do anatomy on someone holding a sword? Sure. Why don't I... So I'm gonna take the lessons I've just taken and kind of apply them in my brain. Now, I highly recommend you look up pictures. Like, why don't I look up a picture? Sword gestures. Let's see what comes up there. Ooh, these are nice. Yeah, okay, these are really good. This one, oh, come on, Pinterest, stop not linking artists. Arttutorialstumblr.com. Let's see where this leads me. I try my best to credit artists where I can. No. Unfortunately, this one's just kind of gone so far through the Pinterest rabbit hole that it's just lost. So I'm so sorry if you know this artist. Unfortunately, I don't know where this came from. I just found it. So I'm gonna use this as an example. So this person has learned how to break down poses very, very quickly and with very sketchy lines, and it's very, very fun to look at. Because when you look at it, I'm going to delete that real quick. I should undo that. So when you look at this is after like years of practice. This person has clearly been doing this for a very long time. So if you look at this person has learned how to break down gestures and lines of action. So the line of action is usually just the line in which the pose naturally flows. Like this pose flows this way and this way, 2 different directions. It even flows up. I would say the main line of action is probably here. No, actually it would probably be here. That's probably the main line of action. This one, right there. This one, there. Generally a pose only really needs the torso and the legs to stand as a pose by itself. But yeah, these are some good examples. I love looking at these and seeing lines of action. They're so much fun. Egg Laddie, thank you for the hydrate. I'm very thirsty, jeez. I'm really dehydrated. Excuse me. But yeah, so those are some examples of poses like that. But let's just, from my brain, let's see how I do with creating a pose. So I'm going to, from scratch, start with the base. Let's do character just holding a sword like this. That's all you really need to count as a gesture. Line of actions like this. I can have the head tilting like this. And that is enough of a gesture that I would call this done if I were doing 30-second poses. Side tangent. For life drawing, there is different ways of learning and different ways of practicing. If you want to do gesture practice, which is just drawing like this, you would look at a pose and try to get as much as you possibly could down in about 30 seconds. 30 seconds is usually for gestures. 1 minute is for it's slightly more detailed gestures, but not that much more detailed. When you get to 2 to 3 minutes, you're getting to kind of this stage where you've got the gesture and you're adding anatomy. But 5 minutes and up is when you get the gesture, anatomy, and then you start rendering. When you start adding shadow and getting all the muscles and textures right. And so you usually start drawing the face and hair. This lesson kind of focuses more on the 30 to 3 minute seconds. Or 3 minute sections. Just know that if you want me to do a more detailed one for like 15-minute gestures, this doesn't quite apply. It applies to the start, not to the end. You're gonna have to do more than just this for 5 minutes. Fiendish name. Have a good night, you wonderful cob. Gotta head out to bed before I die on my keyboard. Good night, and everyone in chat. Night, Fiendish. Get some rest. Have you used PureRef before? If not, I would recommend you check it out. Oh, I haven't. Okay, I'm gonna write that down before I forget. PureRef. Okay, just so I don't forget. Absolute unit. Hey, honey, just saying goodnight. Oh, thanks for saying goodnight. Take it easy, okay? Get some rest. But yeah, so that is where I would start from this. And then let's add a little bit of anatomy. So, turn that down. The rib cage would probably be here. Shoulders here, because they're a bit tense, holding a blade. Now, this is not working off reference. This is working off the catalog that I've created in my brain. After a while, you can probably do this on your own. But I still recommend, like, I should probably do this afterwards. Even after I draw this, I should be looking at reference of, or just go do this pose in a mirror and see if I have done it correctly. Sometimes it's easy to think, oh yeah, I've totally done it correct, and then you look at it later and it's like, it doesn't quite look as good as I was hoping it would. And that's because reference, live action reference can really help. PureRef has weird controls, but it does work well for collages and references. Had to use it to design a small theme park. Huh. That's kind of neat. I'd never heard of it before. Let's see. Got pelvis, legs. And then feet probably like this. Thinking like turbaned. And then hands can probably stay like this. And let's just make it katana because those are easy to draw. All right, that's a pretty good way of breaking it down for posing. Elix of the Violet Sign, do you have any advice on how to break anatomy on purpose for more exaggerated drawing? Yes, actually. So let's do this. Breaking the love, breaking the love. All right. So when you're breaking poses, first off, I highly recommend you learn how to follow art rules first before you learn how to break them. Because sometimes learning it in the other order can make it very frustrating to learn anatomy properly. So, for example, art is kind of the rule of cool. If it looks cool, it kind of works. Like, for example, JoJo posing. JoJo actually has really good anatomy, but there are some times where a character twists in a strange way that doesn't quite look right, but it still looks really cool. That's kind of an example of things breaking. Let me try to do a pose where I kind kind of break anatomy rules. I'm trying to think of a pose real quick. Yeah, my first thought is like literally a JoJo pose. Rule of cool for the win. Yeah, exactly. I love the rule of cool. First off, I love JoJo. JoJo is so much fun. It's such a weird world. What is this? Anyways, so, oh, no, don't cut that layer. So for the rule of cool, for example, I'm going to do this, where a character, it will look very unbalanced, but for the rule of cool, it will very much work. For example, this pose here, I am breaking this person's spine. Just to make this line of action and silhouette look very, very strong. I am super bad at perspective. I don't know why I chose to do this. Perspective is one of the things I really need to work on. All I can think about is Stone Ocean right now. I'm so excited for Jolene. She's so, oh, she looks so cool. Yeah, this pose is not a very strong silhouette. You can tell this is a hand. Oh, I don't want to move that. I want to make it darker so people can see. Okay, so for the rule of cool, if it looks cool, it works. This person's spine is broken, but it works in that the line of action is strong. And it's got an okay silhouette. I could improve this silhouette. Hey, stop stealing from Rob Liefeld. Yeah, no, Rob Liefeld is an example of anatomy really breaking, especially with that Captain America one, where it's just Captain America's head and then he's chonky. Like, it's just ginormous. And that can be a style thing. It's just, it was funky to look at. And something about it didn't quite look right. And so the rule of cool kind of didn't work on that. JoJo is an example of, like, look at the weird poses Dio hits. His spine is clearly breaking, but it is very, very, very cool and very stylized. I think the problem with Rob Liefeld's was it's highly rendered and it's like semi-realistic. So it didn't quite work out the way I think he wanted it to. But I think Spider-Man comics do this too. Yes, Spider-Man comics very much do this too. Let me see. Because like Spider-Man comics are... there are some... Yeah, I guess. There are some contortionists that you can reference where it looks like they're breaking a pose, but the human body can technically do those things. But yeah, I don't know. I'm also not super experienced in breaking a pose or anatomy, just because my brain has been taught to follow it so strictly that I struggle with that. Venom has very inhuman poses. Yes, Venom has very inhuman poses. You're right. All right, I'm trying to think of anything else I should cover, because we covered gesture and expressions. Oh, I can go over tips for eyes for expressions. Let's open up the expressions folder again. So a lot of these tips that I'm getting are from a book called, I've mentioned it like so many times, but I will do it again because it is actually an amazing book. Grizz and Norm. Tuesday tips. If you just look up Tuesday tips, they, Grizz and Norm, I think they're a couple who made an art book that has some very, very, very good advice for if you're just starting and you don't really know where to start, but you want to get good at pushing expressions and gestures and just general character drawing and composition as well. I got some storyboard stuff in there too if you're curious. I'm just gonna stretch my arm because it's a bit tight. Oh, my neck! Oof. Oh, everything's cracking everywhere. I worked out yesterday and I guess my body's not used to it. Thallium honey must follow anatomy strictly. Also honey, big gob ears. Who could say no to gob ears? But yes, so a really good tip for eyes that I got from that book. Wow, that's a... There you go. So, y'all have watched Incredibles, right? I'm assuming most people have watched Incredibles. Fleek the good cracks. They're fine. They're not great, but they're not painful. So that's okay. Alright, but yeah, Incredibles. So y'all remember they got the eye masks, or the raccoon masks. You want to keep that for your eyes, for the most part. For example, the eyebrows should follow the mask. So this is usually for eyebrows. So if I'm gonna do eyes that are surprised, there we go. So surprised eyes, the Incredibles mask would probably do this. So that means the eyebrows should probably follow them like this. The eyebrows are usually like, you gotta treat them kind of like a unibrow that's been separated into two. So when you have eyes, DreamWorks face, it's that. It is two brows that are separated, or one brow that is separated. And they all follow the mask. It's like a raccoon face, you know? That's a little tip for eyes. I'll do an angry one too. Hi, Leech Lover. How's it going? Dead Signal. It's an incredible movie. It is indeed. I really like Incredibles. It's super, super fun. Let's do Dean Death. Have you seen Brune Hogarth's book on anatomy? Highly recommended. Brune Hogarth. I don't think I have. I've read the Human Atlas, the Atlas of Human Anatomy. That's a really good one because it specifically breaks down human anatomy for artists. It's not just anatomy breakdowns like for medical students. It's actually how to draw them. Also, Mr. Snack, thank you for the resub. Sorry I missed the notification. And Rifsty, thank you for the prime. Thank you. Chumbeek, or Chumk. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Thank you for the head pats. And Cam, thank you for the posture check. This is good. Alright. Excuse me. Do you have any tips on drawing the head? Yeah. I will finish up this eyeing tutorial and then help with the head tilts. Can you recommend more Instagram artists that do good art tutorials like Grizz and Norm? Grizz and Norm is the best one I found. If you want more for... I'm not too active on Instagram currently, just for artists. My name is Grog, thank you for the hydrate. But I know there's a bunch of Twitter artists that are very, very good and give a lot of tutorials. Excuse me. Thank you. I think, oh shoot, a lot of them are Disney animators. I got a very Western art education, so unfortunately I'm missing out on the more diverse types of art styles. But, oh dang, which one am I thinking of? If you're looking for more color help, for like hair rendering and color palettes, I would recommend Janice Cream. She's very, very good. Yeah, she's got a lot of good color palettes that pop. They're very fun. Let's see. But yeah, Grizz and Norm is really good if you want like things broken down for characters. I was about to do right, angry. So then the brows would be like this. It would still be mask. When in doubt for eyebrows, just Incredibles mask it. Brett's sick. Wish I could stay, but I gotta head to bed. Thanks for the tips. Really learned a lot. Of course. Get some rest. I'm glad this is really helpful. There's also drawbot.com that has a lot of tutorials. Oh, okay. Honey, you got a very did-me education. I really did, honestly. Thankfully, my teachers were really nice, and they didn't, like, shun anime as a style. They were very much like, no, it's a legitimate style. Just know that it's not as prevalent in the West. And now everyone's seen Akira and watches anime. The Instagram artist, it's actually, I don't know if she has an Instagram. I'm pretty sure she does. But most of her art is on Twitter. Like, she's most active there. Is Janice Cream? Well, let me spell her name. Yeah, her tutorials are really good. It actually, they help me to figure out color palettes a lot easier because she's very good at giving, she knows a lot about color. But yeah, Grizz and Norm, Janice Cream, Grizz and Norm for breakdowns of expressions and emotions. Janice if you're looking for color and textures and lighting. Very, very good. Alright. Fellow student. I like anime. Art professors. Shun the non-believer. That really does sound like some people's experience. Right, I was going to cover something else. Right, head angles. Let's do that. There's actually a picture that is very helpful. It is this one. I'm pretty sure almost everyone has seen this. I spelled that correctly. Don't worry about it. So for head angles, if you literally Google head angles, this is probably the first thing you will see, and it is very helpful. It's a very good way to see how faces can rotate and break down, but I will admit it is, it's very like, it's too realistic, so sometimes you gotta break it down yourself. So let's do that real quick. I say real quick, but it'll probably take like 10 minutes. Let's do it in green. I like green. Yeah. Probably make it even more transparent. Move it around a bit. Like, tips on committing tax fraud as an artist. Don't. Not good idea. Gov IRS will kill you. But yeah, let's break this down for more simplified style. Night, Leon. Get some rest. It looks like the British flag. Kinda, yeah, actually. Just in the angles that the head tilts. Large Mountain, you returned. What's poppin'? I am breaking down head angles. Just simplifying these that have already been simplified. Maro, I'm sorry, really interested in learning color palettes. Is it Janice Green or did I miss something? Yeah, I'll just pull up the... There we go. Janice Cream. Let me do this real quick. Oh. Oh no, I lost it. There we go. It's at... there you go. Did it send? Yes. There we go. Yeah, Janice Cream, I believe is her Twitter handle. I don't know if Grizz and Norm have an Instagram. I'm pretty sure if you look up Grizz and Norm, they're super well known. At least they're in art circles. They're very, very well known. Just because everyone uses their tips. But I haven't really gotten too much into coloring and rendering just because I'm impatient and in order to learn something, I have to set aside a lot of time. And lately the art juice has been too good. I don't want to slow down. Didar, I still can't get over your Abby. You did a great job with it, designing rigging wise. 10 out of 10. Great job. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Took me a while. It took a lot of practice, but definitely I improved, I think, from my previous one, which was the goal. But yeah, let's break this down real quick. So straight on. There's the neck. And then the head angle. Let's just do simple eyes right now. Because these are a little too realistic proportions. We want a little bit animated. Probably looking straight on. I usually do noses like this, so ignore this if you draw different style eyes. There we go. Kyrie, thank you for the prime. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. Speedatron, Gobbo with the anatomy lesson? Yeah, I've been teaching anatomy today. We went over gestures, expressions, now I'm just going over head angles. So it's a lot to pack into one lesson. Let's see. Let's continue with this. So this is about a 3/4. This is front. This is called a 3/4 right here. Because you're seeing 3/4 of the head. There are a bunch of different styles. I typically do it this way. Sorry, I forgot to add the ears here. And there we go. There's the nose. And the eyebrows. Continue with the neck. The neck always attaches to the base of the head. Not in the middle of the head, but the base. Smurf, Honey Sensei, will there be homework over today's lesson? I can give homework if you'd like. I have been giving a couple people, like some of my friends, homework when they're bored. All right, this is probably a, what is it called? 5/8? I think that's it. It's more of a 5/8 angle. And this is profile. Just giving you a reference for when I bring up these terms later. There we go. Show the nose a little bit because of the rotation. I should probably be using a thinner pen for this, but that's alright. The thing that I think messes me up the most with art is hands and noses. Oh yeah. Noses are usually just triangles on the face, so if you draw this, typically that's a pretty standard way of drawing noses. Sometimes noses are round, but like for the sake of easy shapes, we can make them like this. No homework, please. I already got a test tomorrow. Good luck with your test time. Oh, yeah. Usually for art homework, especially if you haven't drawn very much, I would just recommend practicing head angles like this, or just literally just start drawing things you like. Like eyes. I drew eyes constantly, all over all my notebooks. That's how I got to draw them quickly. And that's how I learned how to draw things expressively, because I learned how to draw eyes. And then for this, I'm gonna cheat this a little bit. Saving time. It's a good trick. If you can save time this way, do it. Make sure you're learning, but don't spend too much time on one thing if you're getting stuck. Smiling Time, thank you for the posture check. Oh, okay. It's the how much I draw without it looking weird angle. Oh yeah, that's the 5/8 is a weird angle. All right, let's go down. So for this one, Usually, I always start with drawing the brain, middle of the head, and then the jaw. So as you can tell, the jaw kind of goes in a little bit because the head is tilting down. As well as the features are less in the middle of the head, and they also start to move down in terms of the head. Absolute unit. I'm actually going to bed now. Good night, everyone. Good night, unit. Overdrive. Sorry, Prof. Honey, but I gotta go to sleep. I left some of my work for you to review on your desk, so please take it into consideration for my grade. Thanks for the class, and I'll definitely come back to check this out whenever I need a reminder of the basics. Of course. I'm really glad this could help. But yeah, let's continue with this. Triangle nose. Mouth. I always like it with bigger eyes, just because... I don't know. Eyes are windows to the soul, so they should be pretty visible. Visible. I am dehydrated. I gotta drink more water. The ears would also be here. They would be raised up a little bit. There we go. Spartan Wolf. I think Honey's gonna play a peaceful game with hardcore rock in the background. I do enjoy doing that sometimes. Like I just played Animal Crossing with some music in the background. It's a calming game, but sometimes it's fun to just listen to some like hardcore rock. Oh, and this is of course it cuts off here. But then the triangle would be here. Probably wouldn't see much of the eyes. And the jaw would be here. So this is like an extreme down angle. So just look at how much of the face in comparison to the head there is. Ears would be way back here, because when the head goes backwards, the ears go up. If that makes sense. Just because of the rotation. You gotta kind of imagine this stuff in 3D. Take some practice. Can these tips also work with helmet designs? Yes, they definitely work with helmet designs. Helmet designs are actually even simpler, because you don't have to worry about the exact placement of features, as well as with helmet designs, sometimes you don't have to worry about the expressions as much. So, but yeah, this totally works for that. All right, now this is 3/4 down. Oh, I already love this one. Okay, 3/4 down is not as hard as 3/4 up. The up angles are terribly difficult. So if you want to practice these and you have time, I would recommend grabbing an OC or a character you like and trying to put their expressions or heads into this sheet. If you look up art head angles, this comes up. It's good practice. Eyes are also the door into one's heart. Yeah, Jedi Leader's right. It's your soul and your heart and just everything. It shows all your emotions. Oh, this angle. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit of practice for this one. The eyes. Head. These are a bit more extreme angles. They take a little bit more practice. Got the triangle nose. There we go. Oh, right. Ear and neck. There we go. And then we're going to da-da. Saving some time. All right, let's do the up angles. So up angles are notoriously hard. They're very, very difficult, so don't be discouraged if it takes you a long time. Harlequin, I always thought that the artists who worked on the Kingdom Hearts game, both in-game and in concept, were really good with expressive eyes. Yeah, a lot of good animations and art in general, especially video games, a lot of the animation needs to go into the eyes to actually act things out, so you can tell what a character's thinking. Nerminator, thanks for the ear wiggle. All right, excuse me. Silence Dell, hey, I've been seeing clips on YouTube lately and thought I'd pop in. Hey, I hope you're having a good evening. I'm just going over art tips today. Yukihana Draws, hey, how's it going? We're just doing art right now. Giving a little bit of a tutorial on how to do head angles. We went over gestures and expressions earlier, so now we're just getting the head angles. The tricky stuff. How was your stream? Hope you had a good time. Ooh, ice storm. Oh, that makes sense. Yuki means snow, doesn't it? Oh, that's cool. Literally. Harlequin. Oh, which does bring up a good point. Have you seen the anime Komi-san Can't Speak? Yeah, I've seen the first couple episodes. I've also read it. It's very, very cute. And a lot of expressiveness goes into Komi's eyes. It's so, so good. I love it. Yukihana. It was good. Played some Mario Kart 64 and Mario Party Superstar. And now it's time for bed. I like this hand tracker. Thank you. It was made by Virtual Graves. I just drew the art assets for it. The actual software I got from another VTuber. Hoodie Hero, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. And Wolfaman, thanks for the hydrate. Whoops. Excuse me. All right, let's get this head angle going. Triangle nose. Up faces are so tricky. Jeez. Don't ever feel bad if you can't get them. What is this face? I don't know why it's so hard to draw upward angles. It takes a lot of practice. Sock Puppet Ninja. I'm working to one day getting a model with luminous ovals for eyes like Vivi from Final Fantasy IX, Eva from Wally, and Hollow Knight. Ooh! It's interesting how expressive animators can make eyes despite not having most of a face. Yeah, a lot of acting comes down to the eyes, and if there's no pupils, like body language is very, very powerful. Like just the way Wally's eyes tilt expresses so much emotion. All right, there we go. Is one. Oh, and this one. Oh, this head tilt. Okay, does things. I'm gonna go. Bye, honey. Have a wonderful stream. Call me Simba. Oh, thank you. I hope you're having a good evening, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you, Kay. Yukihana, yeah, it's like the worst angle for it. Is such. I want to be able to draw it well, but every time I try to learn, it just frustrates me to no end. Ugh. People who can draw this angle are wizards, I swear. Harlequin. Sorry to keep spamming the chat, but what exactly is POG? I keep thinking it's like Wide-Eyed Wonder, but I'm not sure. POG, I think it refers to play of the game. That's what it stands for. And I think there used to be, I don't know if it's still on Twitch, but there's like a POG emote where it's just a guy going like, just looking really surprised off to the side with like a really big O mouth. Oh gosh, what is this? What is this angle? But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's a bit of a meme. No, POG means POG. POG also means hype, yeah. It's not there anymore? Alright, yeah. I remember at one point it was there. I think there was some controversy over the person whose face it was, but like, I don't know a whole bunch about it. Yeah, that's the one. Yukihana. It's Yuki's emote is a POG right there. Let's see. Oh gosh, this head angle. What? Yeah, don't ever feel bad if you can't get this angle. I can't get it either. Just stares down at you. Yeah, this is doable. This is... What is this? What did I create here? What did I do? Okay, I think... I don't know. Gomi, how do you head? How do you draw? Oh, another really good artist, in case y'all don't know, is Gomi. She's in the chat right now. She's very good. Very good. Does a lot of meme art. I love it. Gecko dentist angle? Yo, yeah, that's what it is. Cam, now you have to do a pog face. I can try to do a pog face, but like, it's just like, I don't think I can do one. It's a lot. Spartan, pathetic. Just looks at me with disdain. Gomi, sheesh honey, dishing out all the compliments. Gomi, you're great. Gomi is another really good gob streamer. Check her out if you haven't already. I don't have a shout out command set up. Shoot. But yeah, alright, now we have to do these angles. I love upward angles. Sarcastically. Oh god! Hi y'all, how's it going? Thanks, Joel. Aw, that's really nice of you. Thank you. How was Dark Souls? You spin Foxy Genocast at me. Oh, I love that. Dark Souls 2 is so painful. Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, I don't think I can play Dark Souls 2. I tried it, but something about it. I think it's just like the health system is so punishing. Every time you die, your health gets reduced. It just feels bad, man. It's also like the one problem I have with Dark Souls 2 is like their boss design is all dudes in armor. There's some monsters, but like that's not as interesting if it's just really complex armor. And like I love Bloodborne because the monsters are all creepy and weird and have different boss mechanics. If it's just dude in armor, it's the same fight over and over. Listen, there are some hardcore Dark Souls 2 lovers, and that's valid. I feel like there could have been more variety in the bosses. Joe, it was my first time, and it's so... It's not bad, it's just painful for me because I started as a cleric. Oh gosh. I started as a cleric, and I feel like I'm as powerful as a 4-year-old. Oh no, yeah, that's understandable. To be fair, almost any build you go with that kind of sucks. Like, I tried going for a tank build, and it just doesn't work. I've had many people come in and say, you're just not playing it right, and I'm like, that's probably it, but also I'm not having as much fun as the other games. So I am gonna probably leave Dark Souls 2 out of my FromSoft playthrough before Elden Ring comes out. Probably get asked this a lot, Joel, but are you planning on playing Elden Ring? Joel, but no spoilers for me because I just started and I'm adamant to play it through to get Dark Souls 3. Nice. I won't spoil it. There are a lot of fun bosses though. There are some really cool bosses, but yeah. I feel like I whiffed so many hits. Yeah. There's just feels like there's less impact when you hit something, you know? Alright, that's a pretty good upward angle. Oh gosh, this face. Oh gosh. That is not where the nose should be. Oh, why are upward angles so much pain? There's so much pain. Joel, it's good content. I really enjoy playing with chat. That's good. That's good. A lot of the times I find, yeah, chat makes it fun. Hateful Dead. Dark Souls 2 is the only Souls game I've ever finished. Come to find out, it's not even considered a Souls game by most Souls enthusiasts. Yeah, I think it went through a lot of production problems from what I understand, but like for what it's worth, it's not a bad game. It's just you're always going to compare it to Dark Souls 1 and 3. And even Bloodborne in certain cases. Joel, also OMG2, I saw a clip of you and saw that you were drawing me, but I don't know if that's supposed to be a surprise, but no worries. I was just in a mood, and your new model came out, and I hadn't seen it, and I was like, oh, I really want to draw it because it's so well designed, and I love it. Can't believe I got spoiled by a VTuber Clipper. That's okay, I'll just have to show you when I'm done. Ariana, so it's bad or just too different? that's the thing. I don't know. Sometimes different content isn't bad. Yeah, it's just different. But I don't even know if I can speak objectively on it. I just don't like Dark Souls 2. That's just me. No worries if you do enjoy it though. Oh, this mouth. Oh, come on. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not the worst or profile upper angle I've done. All right, and there we go. All the angles, but simplified. Which is good. I probably should do this with more of my characters. I kind of do this when I make models, just because I have to make sure that the rotations go well. But I find looking at this, like, it's a little too human in its proportions, you know? They look so stiff. So it's good to put your characters in them and just break it down and make it a little bit more cartoony so you can see the eyes. Yo, Taka, how's it going? Okay, Plumber, thank you for the resub. Welcome back. A whole 2 months, boy, do I love watching cute gobs being better at art than I ever will be. Well, that's why I'm giving lessons, so that you can have confidence and work on your art skills. Everyone grows at different rates. I've been drawing for a long, long time, and so I have a lot of tips and tricks I like to share. Joel, okay, but I will go make some food because that was a long stream. Big love, homie. I hope we can talk more often. Yeah! It's great to see you, Joel. Thank you so much for the raid. Get some good food in ya. Alright, or are the shapes a bit different? The shapes are a little bit different, just in terms of this. I find that the shapes are different, especially when you break them down, because if you have this and you try to put like an anime character into this, or even a cartoon character into this, it's a little tricky unless you make it a little bit more animated and exaggerated. Trash can. Wait, I'm just finding out that all these VTubers know each other. This is so cool. Yeah, I'm fairly new to. Well, actually, I don't even think I can say I'm fairly new anymore. I've only been streaming for about 6 months. Like, VTubers kind of exploded all at once, and it's really cool because it allows people to be a little more relaxed when it comes to streaming. I know I definitely wouldn't be as comfortable streaming with a camera or anything, just because I get really anxious, but this really helps me. Helped me get over my a little bit of anxiety. But yeah, there's the head tilts. Alright, I think we got time for one more tips and trick thing. If anyone has any suggestions, what would y'all like to learn? Because we've done a little bit of expression work, we've done some gestures and anatomy, we've done head angles. Anything come to mind? Hey Taka, hope you're doing good. Oh gosh, I didn't realize I have trained. Blaze Kitsune, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you. Thanks for becoming a regular. John T, thank you so much for the bits. And Portal Driver, thank you. Portal Driver, hey, just got off work and got here. Is it me or are you going topless because it looks like you're topless? No. I'm just wearing a shoulderless shirt. It's nice and comfy. It's a little breezy. Let's put on the mustache. I like wearing the mustache. Alright. Professor Art is back in. Draw a bagel? That's no. Do we need lessons on bagels? I have one arm. Thank you so much for the shinies. Oh gosh. What country's capital is growing fastest? Ireland. Every day it's Dublin. Okay, that was really good. I really like that one. Thank you for that. CleanCon, thank you so much for the resub. Welcome back. Let's go. Oh gosh, Dark Chaos Blast, thank you so much for the prime. And Chivalrous Eric, thank you so much for the shinies. And 100 Midgets, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you. Jasper, I don't know if you did it yet, but have you gobified Taka? No, I have not gobified Taka yet. I actually have uh, a bunch of people I have left to Gobify. I still have to finish Nux's art, so don't tell him yet. I just have to add the shading layers. I put a little bit of the cleanup of stream art on hold so that I can finish up this commission. It's a real big one. I'm excited for y'all to see it because like I did Naveen's illustration and it's so pretty. Oh, actually I really want to show it off, but I one sec. Oh gosh. Funny Buggy Bot, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome to the tavern. 100 bitches, thank you for the prime. Thank you. Oh gosh. Onyx, some folks have suggested facial hair and or facial details. Oh, okay. I have one arm, thank you. I came to the stunning realization today that I can jump higher than a building. Before you question my logic, have you ever seen a building jump? Okay, that was clever. All right. Let's see, facial hair. Let's do some facial hair. Perfect for a mustache. Yeah. Potato Goddess, thank you for the hydrate. All right, so facial hair. Facial hair is a little tricky because I haven't practiced it too much. But best thing in general is to look at reference. Look at pictures of people who have mustaches or beards. Gailness, I leave for a few hours and I get a mustache? Yeah, grew fast. I grew one on command, as all goblins can, of course. Jaunty, noses. I've been looking around at artists going, I just want an artist who can do realistic noses, not anime style. Oh, okay. I can do facial hair and noses because they are kind of connected. Let's see. Let's do a couple head bases. I'll do one straight on and one 3/4. There we go. Tetrick, thank you so much for the shinies. And 14 cats in a code, thank you. Neo Silverthorn, thank you for the head pats. Whew, alright. Yeah, okay. Is this Honey Gobbo Wharf stash? Yes. Okay, so for beards, I cheat them a little bit. So when I say I cheat something, it means I don't draw them hair by hair, I draw them by shape. A lot of the art cheats I do is just breaking things down by shape. So let's draw the eyes real quick, because those are important. Those are pretty anime eyes, but that's alright. 14 cats in a coat. 2 fish swim into a concrete wall. One turns to the other and says, damn. That's a good one. That's a good one. Do you have a stream schedule posted anywhere? I'd be stoked to drop in every now and then to watch / support. Oh, thank you. I usually post it and pin it to my Twitter, as well as I have a Twitch schedule. I'm pretty sure I put that I'm streaming this week. I sure hope I did. Full Cypher, hello, my name is Honey Goblin. Today we're playing Five Nights at Freddy's. I love Markiplier's scream. It's so funny. But yeah, for noses, usually they're triangle shaped. They can be different shaped. Like you can have a diamond or you can have a rounder nose. But for now, we're just gonna keep it like this. Now with the nose placement and the mouth placement, we're going to draw a beard. Now, normally, people have cheekbones. Some people have stronger cheekbones than others. And you just have to find out where they are. Because for facial hair, it usually grows here, in this area. You can trim it and you can shave it in whatever shapes you want to get a lot of variety. But normally the mustache kind of starts here, at least for exaggerated mustaches. I'm talking like full beards. If you want like 5 o'clock shadow, that's a little harder to draw. You gotta look at a lot of reference for that. Beardronius, thank you so much for the bits. Thank you. Akami, hey, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Beardronius, Thank you. But yeah, so for beards, I will get rid of this head circle because I drew that just so that I could tell where the brain was. But it kind of distracts from the beard tutorial. So yeah, I'm not the best person at drawing beards, but this is how I do it. So there's the jawline. Some people have rounder jawlines. And usually you can, if the mouth is here, the lower lip is here, there's this weird amount of like soul patch whenever I draw beards. They look a little like this. And then you can lengthen the beard to whatever shape you want. You can make it like a Binging with Babish beard where it's kind of like, whoop, almost dropped my pen. Pointy, but like still like stiff looking. Then you would erase the jawline. And that is typically how I draw beards. It's not the best tutorial, but in a pinch, if you're just drawing like a background character, this is pretty good. It'll pass. Kami, I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Just chilling, trying to show people how I draw things. I'm just teaching people how I draw beards. I would need to look up more reference to practice them. I need to practice drawing beards, and hands. Actually, hands are okay, but feet. Feet, hands, and beards. I struggle with those sometimes. Hands are really fun to draw. I remember one point in my life, I was so frustrated with them that I ended up just spending like 3 to 4 months drawing only hands in my sketchbook. I have a whole like 4 to 5 pages of them. I would just stare at my own hand and then go like, okay, time to draw this. Break it down into its shapes. The Hateful Dead, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you. That's so kind of you. You didn't have to do that. Hateful Dead, enjoyed the stream, but alas, being a responsible adult demands I get up for work in 6 hours. Have a great night, chat, and take care of yourselves. Yeah, get some rest and take it easy, okay? Alright, let me just draw this and then I'll do the redeem. Alright, let's see. So then from this angle, the soul patch would be here. So remember, you find the cheekbones. I'll just do temporary eyes. Cheekbones. Mustache kind of starts under the nose. And then cheekbones and beard. That is how I draw them. Not the best way. If you want like real cool looking characters with beards, I would recommend looking at Lord of the Rings character art or concept art. It's good. Let's see. I'm looking a little annoyed. Babish always looks mildly annoyed now that I think about it. Or he's very professional, but it's, yeah. It's fun. Krupo, thank you for the gifted sub to Juniper. Spectre, well, I'm heading out for the night. Have a good night and a good stream. You have a good night too. I think I'll just show y'all what we drew tonight, and then I think that's a good amount of information for one lesson tonight. Let's see. Krupo, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Yo Clash. Oh my gosh, thank you. Sionia, 2 muffins were baking in the oven when one turned to the other and said, "Boy, is it hot in here, or is it just me?" The other muffins shouted, "Oh shit, talking muffin." Nice. Alright, so we'll just go over what we learned today. I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit so we can see a bit better. There we go. But yeah, we went down over posing. So we just went over like how to break down a pose and add anatomy and correct it. Line of action and looking up anatomy is very, very helpful. Remember to start with the gesture anatomy, and then shading comes later. You can actually get away with not doing any shading, especially if you're just practicing posing and anatomy and trying to get a gesture down. Shading usually comes with 3 to 5 minute poses, but anything below 3-minute posing for life drawing is usually just focused on anatomy and gesture. So don't sweat it too much. have expressions. So we went over how expressions are all about the eyes. The eyes are key. Referencing like yourself or pictures of other people expressing themselves. That's a good way to get expressions going. And draw what a character is thinking, not what they're doing. That's really important. Draw their motive, not their action. And then just examples. The angry gestures are usually more like triangular and square, just like all the lines pointing in towards the face. Flirty is like one of those like weird waves. It's like a sine wave. And then sad is like teardrops and very droopy and bottom heavy. Bad bugs. Wait, Miss Honey, my notes are upside down. I'll email you the notes later, Bad Bug. You can learn. How you doing, Bad Bug? It's good to see you, by the way. Decipher, wear a blue shirt and you'll see the bite of 87. What? I'm very confused, sorry. And then we did head angles. So if you want to work on head angles for your OC or your character, I recommend taking this page, which is like very, very boring looking, and just drawing a simplified version of your character in it so that you can kind of break it down and see what they'd look like. It can really save you some time if you're trying to draw your character a lot. Because, oops, I banged my elbow. In a pinch, it works really well. And then we drew beards. Yeah, facial hair. I'm not great at drawing facial hair. That's actually something I really want to work on. Whew. Damage big. Whoa. How do you also get your hand to be a VTuber like that? Oh, it's a plugin created by Virtual Graves on Twitter. They're also a VTuber. Very, very cool. I just created the drawing assets myself. And then I just put them into the program, and then, yeah, that's it. It tracks my Cintiq pen. Jasper, thank you so much. No banging your elbow. You need that for stuff. I know. I'll try not to hurt myself. But alright, I think that's enough for lessons today. I don't want to overload everyone's brains. I feel like that might not be a great idea. So, let's switch back to basic. I love this mustache. It's super cute. I'll take it off though. Alright. Whew. Let me just take care of those redeems that I did not get. Let's see. I got that one. Neptune, thank you for that redeem. I'm so sorry it took so long. I wanted to make sure I got through everything. But make sure I got my scenes all set up. There we go. Okay. Hey, sugar. Make sure you get lots of sleep tonight. I gotta stop that. Anyways. Robin Hood, thank you so much for the... Oh my gosh, that's so much. Doing the Lord's work, Goblin by teaching. Yeah, no worries. I'm very glad y'all could find that information helpful. I would have liked to learn that a lot sooner when I was learning how to do art, but... I got it now. That's fine. Cobra, meant to go to sleep, but this is one of the few classes I actually wanted to watch till the end. Any chance you'll check the drawings on Discord before ending the stream? I'll probably check them off stream. Just because I do actually need to go refill my water. To get the dishes out of my dishwasher. I promised Cove I would clean the kitchen, and I did not. So I gotta make sure I do that. Gotta be nice to my roommate. That fun. Super enjoyable stream. Please more in the future. Yeah, I don't mind doing like art tutorials every once in a while. I feel like that'd be fun. Maybe I'll make a poll on Twitter and see what y'all want to learn, and then I can make like lesson plans. CleanCon, what a great way to end my shift. Oh, I'm so glad. I hope you had an okay shift. Lily, I just got back and it seems like you're ending. Oh, sorry, Lily. I do have to get ready for bed in like a half hour, so I don't want to stay up too late. I do want to check people's drawings in Discord, so I'll be sure to check them out. If you did any drawings during this, yeah, for sure, put them in the artisans table. I'll check them out. But yeah, I think that was a pretty good stream. Well, they're gonna watch the VOD. It's fine. Okay. Just want to make sure. Vonduno. Thank you, honey. Have a good one. You have a good one too. Let's check out who is still up, because it's a little late for me, but I feel like there's someone's got to be just starting their stream. Let's see if we can surprise someone. Let's see. Who is awake? Oh, that person's not streaming anymore. Okay, they just ended. All right. Oh, let's go to another art stream. Keep it chill, you know? Let me just, I'm just making sure everything is okay. Yeah, all right, good. Just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Let's head on over and say hi to Vivi. So if you're just looking for something to chill out to and just relax, Vivi is a good person to check out. She did her own model, so very, very impressive. She's very, very nice, and she's also doing art. I'm not sure what she's doing right now, but I'm sure we'll find out if we go. But yeah, y'all have a good evening. I'll be sure to check out the Discord and make sure you get some rest. I'll put the schedule up tomorrow afternoon, I think, back up on my Twitter. Let's get that started. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, everyone get some rest. Thank you so much for coming. I'll make sure this VOD doesn't go into the void. So y'all can watch it if you'd like later. But yeah, thank you so much. Make sure to let me know if you want to learn anything else. I'll catch you later, okay? Good night.